Hi everyone, BC Ridgefield here on behalf of BrightFunded. Let's take a look at the week ahead. Let's start by taking a look at our red folder news. So we can see an overview. We've got news affecting the US, New Zealand and Great British markets. But, again, this week, I think all eyes are going to be on Powell for the Fed as he testifies. That's Tuesday at 3 p.m, which is 2 p.m. UTC. And then again on Wednesday at the same time. It's also worth noting that Thursday we have big news coming into the US with core CPI month on month, CPI month on month, and CPI year on year, along with unemployment claims. We then wrap that up on Friday. Again, US market news, core PPI month on month, PPI month on month, and preliminary UOM consumer sentiment as well. But please do remember, especially if you're trading FX, that you've got the news hitting the New Zealand markets on Wednesday, and then you've got Great British news as well on Thursday. Okay, so let's start again by taking a look at Bitcoin. Now, obviously, we had a very, very bearish week last week. We can see the range that we've got marked out here. And look, we can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times this offered key support, okay, at least back to the midline. Now we've closed below this. Obviously, we've taken our key swing low here within a fair value gap, which we always mark down as a key liquidity pool. So we're expecting a reaction now, but really, we want to see what happens if and when we retest the range low here. I think getting back within the range would be bullish, but the longer that we stay below this, I think bearish. In terms of my next kind of key point, I do expect price to pull back a little bit from here. As long as we hold this area, then that still remains bullish in my eyes, but closing below, we could see a corrective move deeper. What else is key to note here is in terms of market structure, we've set our high, low, lower high. This is now shaping up to set the lower low. So a pull back to this kind of region before a sell-off wouldn't be unexpected. We can see a bit more detail as we go onto our daily chart here. Excuse me. And we can see the reaction here. Now, looking at our gaps and where we expect price to go, all I'm focused on at the moment is this bearish gap here, which I'll just do in red to signify that I'm expecting it to offer resistance. While we hold this, then we have liquidity targets marked out here. I'm favouring this level down here at 53,335. Unless we can get back above this level and, like I say, make a move back into the range, then I think that would be a bullish sign. So going across onto Ethereum now, we've been watching this fair value gap for quite some time. It held support here for several weeks based off the 50% of that, which was this move here from the low to the high. If we mark that out here, we can see that the midline here was offering great support. Okay, and then we've obviously had a large close below it now, which is bearish. So this has turned purple to show that it's an inversion, with an expectation that this is now going to provide resistance. Key liquidity target for me to the downside is 2,791.22. If we do start to come back up into here, then we really need to wait to see a sign of strength back within here. Until then, I'm favouring more downside for ETH. Moving on to Euro USD, so we did get the close above the volume imbalance here, which is interesting, and we've kind of seen the markets open bullish as we expected. So the upside target remains the same, 1,001.09162, sorry. If we do come back down below this, I think we could retest this area. We have these lows down here as well, so let's mark them in with a downside target here on the weekly at 1.06660. So moving on to the daily, we can see in terms of price correcting lower, I'd be watching out for this gap. I'm going to do this one in green just to show that it's bullish. Again, expect this area to offer support. Should we wick down into this and recover here, I think we move higher. I think our immediate daily target, again, which is a high within a gap, so good liquidity pools here, so we want to watch the reaction. That's at 1.08522. And if we close, we have a strong close above this. I favour moving into these relative equal highs here. And then our high time frame high target of 1.09162. Now, onto USD JPY. This one we had a slightly different look. We had such a clean and clear inside bar range here. So mother bar being formed by this larger candle, confirmed into an inside bar pattern when the secondary candle here closes within its range. That means it can't violate the high or the low. This gave us our two ranges that actually the move out of this and the test of this as support, from resistance to support, is what gave us these 3-4 beautiful weeks of chasing upside. Now, what we need to understand here is this a deviation at range high. Should we close back within the range, then I favour us moving down back to retest this level here at 155.953. However, we need to appreciate that we are in bullish market structure here. And actually, we've got this nice gap, so price could very well test this. I think if we close in here, leave this untested, that will be my downside target, followed by that. So moving on to our daily here to give ourselves some more context. Well, we can see we've actually got a daily gap that sits right around our retest level here at range higher. So I quite like this area. I think as long as we continue to hold above range higher, look on the lower time frames to see if we can regain that market structure that we would have broken probably on this pullback here. And then as long as we show strength here, I think more upside for USD JPY. So moving across onto gold now, we can see we've just taken this internal high last week. This is a very big bullish candle, okay? Big body, lots and lots of volume, buyers really kind of taking control here. But we have kind of taken liquidity here now, so it's very, very natural and normal to see price pull back a little bit. We'll look a bit closer on the daily for targets there. Now we can see we've got equal lows marked out down here, or relative equal lows anyway. They provide good liquidity pulls as well as this swing low. The key low for me here is this one, again, sat within a bullish fair value gap, so a good liquidity pull. That's at 2,277.09. Holding this level though, upside targets on the weekly remain at 2,450.04. As we now move on to our daily and gain a bit more context here, I really like the way that price had a very bullish reaction at this gap. Okay, so we set this gap here, price came back down, tested into this, and that's what took us up to take out our weekly high here. Again, a high within a fair value gap, so it's natural to expect a corrective move here. So as long as this area continues to hold, then I expect more upside here for gold. Close below this, and I think we're going to start making a move to test out some of these lows where we have equal lows down here at 2,318.52, and then ultimately down towards our higher time frame, equal lows at 2,286.72. So closing up here, we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ. And this one again was really, really lovely and clear. This has been so bullish, okay, just chasing down all-time high after all-time high. Now we had this big weekly gap here. We were looking to get that nice reaction from, which we absolutely did. Again, another big week of upside last week. I've left this marked here and lined across for a reason, and that's to look at the displacement. Okay, so like we said, when price comes into a high or into a low, I'm always looking, okay, how's the candle close? We get a strong close above it, in which case we can expect more upside. Obviously, if we wicked above it and closed back below, then we might be looking at a slightly deeper corrective move lower down. So moving to our daily now to frame all of that, you can actually see, look, weekly level, yes, also a daily high. Again, strong displacement, a strong close above it, beautiful retest, and price moves away. In doing so, it has also left us this really nice fair value gap down here, which provides another kind of line of support. So if price should start to come back, I would expect this area to hold. If we close below here, we have another gap down here we can target, but ultimately the swing low, again, sat here at 19,811.75 will become the target. At the moment, we'll be using extensions to predict our upside target because we're just continuing on from higher to higher, we can see. So I would mark this up here on a daily scale for anybody looking at this intraday, see how we get the close above this. I think if we maybe close back below this, similar to what it is now, we've taken liquidity and maybe price is looking to correct a bit deeper. Do remember as well that on the daily close, as long as this doesn't get filled, we will have a bullish gap here, so possibly a move down into this to find some long setups and then attack the high that's been left there today. And that concludes our weekly outlook. Wishing you all a great and prosperous week ahead, and we look forward to seeing you soon with us over at BrightFunded.